Hello, my name is Luke, and me and Brennan, our experiment was figuring out how to change the color of fire and what elements can do that. But before we begin the experiment, we need to collect some materials. Well, now we've finally gotten all our ingredients. Let's go over what their purpose is, though. First, the tea candle holders. This is where we will be burning the elements and get the colored flames from. We will be using a lighter to light the flames. The accelerant we're using is this charcoal lighting fluid from Food Lion. We will be using this glass to help get a smaller amount of the charcoal fluid, and we'll just pour it in and then pour it back into here so we get the right amount. And by the way, there's no set amount, it's just not too much and not too little. Now we're going to be making 3 different colors of fire. The first is going to be red, the second is going to be purple, and then the last will be yellow. Now for the red flame, we need lithium, and we can get lithium out of this
Energizer Max
battery. How about that? Now for purple, we need potassium, and potassium can be found in salt substitutes. And for the last color, yellow, we're going to need to use some regular table salt for that one. And that's everything we're going to be using for this experiment.
I know what you're thinking. How do elements change the color of fire? Well, the answer might just fascinate you. First, we need to talk about atoms. Atoms have a nucleus that is positively charged. The nucleuses are orbited by negatively charged electrons in certain patterns because of how quantum physics works. Now, when atoms are left on their own, the electrons can go in orbitals that the atom has the lowest amount of energy that it can. Now, when an atom is lit on fire or put into flame, the electrons farthest from the nucleus are energized. These electrons will soon go back into their normal orbit, and when they do, they release all the energy that they collected. This energy is released as photons, which is the name for particles of light. The color that is released depends on the amount of energy of the photons, and that energy of the photons depends on the amount of energy needed to move the electrons from one orbital to another orbital. Flames have lots of energies in them, and sometimes they get just enough to push an electron out of its orbital and into a new one. The electron will emit the exact amount of energy that it obtained once it gets back into its natural orbit. Clear as mud, right?